we were to go back to the beginning of Lifelines, it would start when I was hired at Center for Family Life as a program director for the PS1 program in 1982, and coming to this vibrant community full of families newly arrived and so many young people.
Well, in the 80s, Sunset Park was pretty much a rough area. The homicide rate was pretty high. The assault rate was high, and that was because it had a lot of gangs.
If you weren't a member of a gang, you had to try to make sure that you kept a low profile. There were very little places where you can go and try to get away from the violence in the street. There were very little people you could turn to try to find help.
New York City public education had eliminated arts programming from school day education. It was considered a frill, not important, and to me, it was a right and not a privilege. Part of my role was to be in the evening teen center and to introduce activities and build relationships. So I led with what I knew, which was coming in with the arts. And our first sessions were in the PS1 auditorium, trying to introduce improv acting, dance, in a way that would be engaging and help us build a relationship with one another.
It felt like belonging to something, you know? Here we are, a bunch of kids having fun, some playing basketball, some playing paintball, some performing, and it was like an escape.
They showed concern and care for us right off the bat. Like, they wanted to know us, they wanted us to be involved in what they were involved in. It was just something that I never experienced.
The work of being a social worker and working to community build is about each person finding their voice, finding a way to connect to others, and the power of improv is that it gives young people the message that what you have to say is important and the way you have to say it is what we value here. So we use the improv tool as a way of creating fictional stories that would bring to life the struggles of our community. That was the basis of how we were going to create our shows.
One of the toughest challenges is to have your peers be in the audience and actually listen to what you might be experiencing at that time.
It wasn't Grease, it wasn't Bye Bye Birdie. It was just like, you know, a production where we're creating real characters that we know of, or that kids in the audience will say, oh, that's my dad. Oh, that's my next door neighbor. I wrote what I knew. I wrote what I felt.
Performing something that you create makes you feel gigantic. I feel big. I feel like I accomplished something. And every time I wrote a poem, I said, Julie, I have another poem. Would you like to read it? She said, sure, I would. And I would give it to her. She would give it back. She goes, I don't know what to do with you. You're so amazing. You have so much potential. I'm so glad you left the gangs, but there's a lot more out there for you.
It was a struggle in the early days to have an evening teen program in a school building. They had an impression of our young people as being dangerous, and it would be unsafe. And it was really important to us to change that perception. We began to produce annual original improvisational productions, and that was the beginning of the Lifelines Community Arts Project. In the fall of 1990, the program really began to expand. We had the opportunity to move to our only middle school building in the neighborhood, Charles O. Dewey. We had a chance to expand funding stream by funding stream to include summer arts camp, summer theater troupe. All of this made us a 5-day-a-week, year-round program in the arts.
We started to develop this reputation in the Lifelines program of being great, and then the school was still, struggling. And Julie kept saying, it's the same kids. The kids in our program are the same kids during the school day. And so we really had to look at how we could change that perception.
We envisioned an in-school partnership where teachers could talk to one another and we in the after-school world could be part of those conversations.
I think one of the things that makes Lifeline so unique was this in-school project feature, and it allowed us to combine 2 different content areas. So if I was a social studies teacher, I might work with a math teacher or a science teacher. And then it also allowed us to bring a working artist into the mix, and we would create kind of a combined project based on the contents and the arts.
A lot of the research has shown is that if kids see connections between subjects, the subjects make more sense to them. So we would figure out a way to find the connections between music and math, or between science and dance, or social studies and art.
The students who were struggling found their way into curriculum, found and understood in their bodies why what they were learning mattered.
The student who never spoke, or the student who was very, very anxious about everything and all of a sudden felt comfortable.
It is also to get teachers to be talking to each other and teachers to be seeing how they can use the arts themselves.
You know, doing dance steps in the back of the studio with the students made me a participant. You know, I wasn't the teacher.
The power of this is that you're having a real life experience with learning. It's not a private experience, me and my studies and my relationship with the teacher and the paper that I wrote and the test that I took. You're having this experience in which it's a shared learning process.
In 2003, we were honored with the Presidential Coming Up Taller Award. This was a wonderful moment for our community to be recognized on the national stage, and was an occasion for us to expand even further, bringing our program to other communities where we led workshops, and young people from our neighborhood had the occasion to share beyond the boundaries of the Sunset Park community. You know, with all the success we had with our middle school model, we were still deeply troubled by the lack of high school success of our young people. Sunset Park was one of only 2 community boards in the entire New York City without a public high school. And we knew that if we could just get a high school in our neighborhood, we could make a difference there.
It was really hard not to have a high school in the neighborhood. I think particularly for the parents.
I'm going to go to high school, I have to leave Sunset Park. And I think we just got used to it and didn't even know to even advocate or ask for a high school, because you just get used to how things are.
We do our spring shows, and a lot of that content was the fact that they wanted a high school. They wanted a school that they could call their own.
It would be nice if we had a high school in Sunset Park.
It was really an educational equity issue as far as we were concerned.
The community board formed a task force and asked me to be the chair of that task force. And that began a youth and community-led activism project for which we used Lifelines and the arts as a communicator. These meetings were unbelievably moving to hear young people talk about the challenges they faced in not having a public high school, to watch older community residents connecting to young people of different cultural backgrounds and understanding the shared desire for a quality institution in our neighborhood.
It's still a construction site today, but in September, this will be Sunset Park High School. For Sunset Park residents, the school is the result of years of hard work and collaboration.
In the spring of 2008, we got the official word that the Department of Education would accept our community's design of a unified public high school under the leadership of a single principal. It was a cause for incredible celebration. So there was the construction victory that the school was actually going to be built, and then there was the real victory that the school that was going to be built would be the school that our community envisioned, designed, and would support for longevity as it has today.
I was part of the first graduating class from Sunset Park High School, the class of 2013. The way that Lifelines is set up, it makes this space like a no judgment zone. Like everyone there is unique and different and comes with their own personalities that really add to our shows, that really adds to this really creative process. And so it was actually the first time I just felt like I could be myself, and people actually appreciated it and loved me for me.
So at the end of a hard day, I would always, walk throughout the school. I would go into the music room and hear the chorus practicing, and I would see them putting together the sets and practicing their lines, and well, it always boosted me, no matter how hard the day was, to see that our kids wanted to stay in school.
Together on 40th!
People often ask me what is the magic or the special sauce of Lifelines. And fundamentally, I think it's the methodology we use. It's the social group work method. It is a part of social work that gets us in a circle, supporting one another, defining goals together, creating a mutual aid system where each of us has something to contribute and to receive from the group. And there's an expectation, if you're in a group, that you're there because you have a worth to contribute. That's a really powerful message.
I think a lot about the sort of ripple effect or the impact of Lifelines, and I think about it across the thousands, if not tens of thousands of young people who have participated in this program and what they've gone out in the world to go do. And I also think about it here at home at Center for Family Life in our small little corner of Sunset Park, and how really what has blossomed at our organization that started really here at Lifelines is centering the arts and using the arts as our tool for community building and leadership development. And that is something that we invest in and value and center at every single one of our now 10 schools.
Well, when I think about the arts, especially dance, I feel it as a way to release all the stress. It's a way to take all that out of your mind and just channel it within your body, within your heart. I think of this program as a place where I found really who I am. I found the fact that I am a really creative person who loves to try multiple different things, and I've just carried that out with me through high school and now through college.
Yeah, Lifeline changed my life in so many ways. Like this idea of anything is possible, but anything is possible as I am. That I have so much to contribute to the world in my own unique way.
I just turned 40 and I'm in this place where I'm trying to reconnect with parts of joy, and I keep coming back to middle school. And it's filled with music and stories and art, and I felt safe.
I got a daughter, 25 years old. Her name's Destiny. I see potential in you. You have a lot of potential. And when I tell her that, it makes me feel proud, because I'm trying to tell her that she can reach for the stars. Anything she wants in life is there, it's hers. When Julie used to tell me that, it used to make me feel special, that this person was seeing something in me that I wasn't seeing in me at the time. A person hears that often, they start to believe it. And when they start to believe in themselves, that's when things start changing.
I don't say it lightly, but Lifelines gave me my life. I wound up deciding to go to graduate school for choreography, and a lot of the reasons that I think I decided to pursue choreography, and specifically choreography as a mechanism for community organizing, was because of my time at Lifelines.
There are students who I taught who worked on Lifelines projects with me, who went to Sunset Park High School, who continued to come back and work in those programs in the summer and after school, who then became teachers. And to me, that is a very powerful testament to how amazing this program is and how it's a true community-based organization.
I went into social work school in 2019 while still working part-time at Lifelines, and in 2022 I wrapped up my social work degree and graduated my MSW, and I'm currently studying for my license. And right after I graduated, I went straight to program director, full-time being here and doing the job I love on even a larger scale.
The way Julie says it, and the way many of us have said it in the past, is we shoot out that echo, and that echo continues to come back. And when we leave our echo, generations that come after that are going to hear the same echo. Every time that we leave our mark, and it comes back tenfold.
I've been reflecting on the incredible people that I have met on this journey and how deeply enriched I am for this. I don't think words could aptly communicate back the deep appreciation beyond words that I feel for the privilege of connecting to so many amazing people through the arts and thinking about what they're doing and the future that they will make for this community, for this city, for this world, gives me great hope and deep appreciation.